Welcome to Comadres y Comics. Comadres y Comics is a podcast hosted by 3 Latina women.
We highlight the Latinx presence in the comic book industry as creators, characters, and fans.
Join us as we talk CHISME, comics, fandom, and beer. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Comadres y Comics. This is episode 240. That's 240. Welcome back, ladies. We are your hosts. I'm Sarah.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Jen.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hi.
What's up? All right, so we're looking at the it's almost WonderCon. Yay!
Yeah.
We gotta find a new place to eat. We can't eat at the old place.
No, we can't.
No.
Although are they all individually owned or is it all the same people?
You know, I don't know, but we should.
I think they're all individually owned, because that one Roscoe's that was in South Central on Manhattan, I think they closed down, but not all the others. So
Right.
She's
Yeah.
right. Mm-hmm.
so I think they might just be independently owned, but approved to like run as a Roscoe's. But we know that the one by WonderCon sucks now.
The one by Long Beach, Mola sucks.
Oh, okay.
That was the one that had the big Trump outside.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yuck.
Well, looking forward to that. So that's pretty cool. And let's see. Let's get right into it. Time for Chisme de la Semana. What do you have for us today, Kristen?
Yeah, what's the hot goss?
Well, my chisme is a little bit delayed because we did a Las Platicas last week, so we don't really do Chisme de la Semana during Las Platicas. So my chisme comes straight from ComicsPRO 2025. And those of you who might not be familiar, ComicsPRO is the professional retail convention get-together, I don't know what you call it, summit for retailers in the comic book industry. And it has grown very much over the last couple of years, especially given the downfall of Diamond Comics. Because Diamond used to have a retailer summit every year. And I think that I actually attended one of the last ones in 2019, I believe, was it? No.
Baltimore, right?
It wasn't. Yeah, it was in Baltimore. It was 2022, maybe? 2021? I don't remember. It was one of those years, but I actually received a scholarship from Bink, the nonprofit that helps out employees and owners of book shops, whether they are regular bookshops or comic book shops, and they offered a scholarship, and I applied and I received it. So we were able to go to the retailer summit held by Diamond in Baltimore during whatever year that was. So anyway, that was one of the last years that I remember that they actually held it. And then ComicsPRO kind of started growing and growing and growing. And this year was one of the biggest years, or it was the biggest year. Basically, they've grown in number. They said they were 40% bigger than what they had been in the past as far as retailers and also publishers. So it's just a big place where people from different facets of the industry can get together and talk about the cool things that are happening or going to happen and coming in the comic book industry. So a lot of the big gossip was around Big Two. Marvel and DC was there announcing big things and changes coming for them in the next year, here in 2025. So one of the biggest things, and I have my little list here, is that Matt Fraction was there, starting off with DC. He came out of nowhere. He hadn't been on the floor or anywhere at ComicsPRO the entire time. It was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I think he showed up on Friday during lunch. Out of nowhere, it was like a surprise, and he came on the stage to announce that he is going to be taking over Batman.
Wow.
Batman is
Ooh.
going to go back to #1, and they're going to relaunch, and Fraction is going to be writing the book. Now,
Okay.
they probably talked about who the artist was, but I don't remember. So they're also going to, with the coming of the new Superman movie, they are going to be launching a Summer of Superman. So they're going to be introducing multiple new series that are going to coincide with that upcoming movie that is going to be releasing in July. This includes a new Supergirl series written and illustrated by Sophie Campbell, and that's going to have a fresh storyline and a fresh character design. And I'm actually excited about how that might lead into the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow TV or movie that is coming out that James Gunn is at the helm of, because that book is freaking amazing. If you still haven't read it, definitely get it and read it and love it, because it's just amazing. But there's going to also be a Crypto, the Last Dog of Krypton book coming out. That's going to offer a unique perspective through the eyes of the doggy. And then they're going to have a new creative team for Action in June. Here it is. The artist for Batman is actually going to be Jorge Jimenez. So it's going to be Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez doing Batman starting at #1, and that's going to come out in September. They are going to go back to the blue and gray costume, but it's going to be a new costume, but go back to those old OG colors. And there's going to be a completely redesigned Batmobile. So that's going to be coming after Absolute Batman, which is the storyline that's out right now. It's an Elseworld story, and that's the story, if you didn't know, where Batman is still Batman, but he is not a millionaire or billionaire. He's just an average Joe who is out there wanting to do good. And I've heard out of all the Absolute storylines that it is absolutely the best. So if you haven't been reading Absolute, definitely check out that Absolute Batman book. So the biggest CHISME that came out of that weekend at ComicsPRO was that Marvel and DC have joined together to do a crossover coming this year. So Marvel DC crossover books have happened in the past,
Yes.
but it hasn't been for quite some time. And this last year, 2024, they released an omnibus collecting all of the entirety of the of the DC Marvel crossover books. And the popularity of that omnibus really lit a fire under the big two to do something together again this year. So they are going to have a 2-book event. They're both going to be one-shots. And so Marvel is going to release a Marvel/DC book, and DC is going to release a DC/Marvel book. And that's all they came out to say. They haven't talked about creative teams. They haven't talked about when it's coming out. All we know is it's coming, and it's going to be 2 one-shots. So if you're interested, make sure to let your LCS know that as soon as the information drops and it becomes available on FOC, that you want it on your pull. So on the other side is Marvel Comics, and they're going to be starting a new initiative called Bring on the Bad Guys. So it's a basically series of books that are going to be focusing on the individual stories of iconic villains such as Doom, Green Goblin, Abomination, Loki, Red Skull, Dormammu, and Mephisto. So let's see. And it says an intriguing addition to this lineup is Sister Sorrow, which is a new character introduced to expand the Marvel's roster of antagonists. And something that is not on any article I read or anything past ComicsPRO is that Chip Zdarsky was on the stage. And Chip Zdarsky, and there was a phone streaming online, people who are at home who paid to quote unquote attend ComicsPRO online. They turned off the streaming and they said, this is for your ears and eyes only. Please don't share this outside of the this room. But they didn't say when we could share it or what, and I haven't seen or heard anything. So I am just going to just put it out there because it is CHISME, and they never said when we could say it. It's already been 2 weeks, so I feel like that's good enough. They had Chip Zdarsky on the stage, actually announcing that he is going to take over Captain America. So that is the big two. We also heard from IDW, from a new publishing company called Ignition, and we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, how they are the new publishing company that has taken CHISPA comics under their wing and are now publishing and producing their books. We heard from Tiny Onion, which is James Tynion's, it's not a publishing company, but it's kind of like his like little imprint, yes, of some amazing things that he is going to be doing this year. I actually met Cullen Bunn, not for the first time, but he was
last time
or the last time, but he was there he is a new creator with Ignition, and he has just praised Ignition so much, along with a bunch of other creators that were there introducing that they were going to be working with them. And Colin actually, now this is CHISME, I'm not going to share because they didn't share it there, and he told me at the bar that we hung out together afterwards.
Okay.
He told me about it is going to be a horror book, which if you are a Cullen Bunn fan, you know he does exceptionally well, which is writing horror. And he is going to be writing a horror book with I think there's I can't remember who the artist is, but and he told me the premise of the book, and it sounds very cool, amazing, very creepy, and I can't wait for it to come out. And a lot of these books by Ignition, including the CHISPA books, are going to be out in August 2025. So make sure that you talk to your LCS about all of these books that are coming out. The publishing companies are going all out with a whole bunch of cool new stories. We got a bunch of new ash cans and number ones from different publishers that I'm going to be going through and sharing on my radar in the next couple of episodes. There's a bunch of stories that just sound really, really cool and awesome. And honestly, for as crazy and kind of uncertain that the industry might look like in some ways, in other ways, the industry is doing a lot of really exciting things that I'm really happy to hear about, and happy to be reopening a comic shop to be sharing with a whole bunch of other comic fans and readers.
Yeah, that sounds super exciting. And the event itself, the little pictures you shared look super cool. I'm like, why didn't I know about this? And why is she just sharing it now on pictures? free beer? What?
Oh yes, there was after party events every night. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday were the 4 days, and there were events all of the nights, and each one was sponsored by a different publishing company. And it was free alcohol and free food for the most. So we were just eating and drinking all over LA County over the last over those 4 days. And the cool thing too is that it's going to be in Glendale again next year, because they had to sign a 2-year contract to basically confirm that they would have it there for 2 years in a row. So we get to go again next year. So we're going to start saving our pennies now, because might not seem like a long drive from Glendale to Torrance, but at 8, 9 o'clock at night, after a full day of being at a convention, it is a very long drive.
Yeah, and with the traffic, oof. No.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's some juicy ass chisme. Thank you so much. And now time for On My Radar. Ladies, I have some radar. It is a show that just launched on HBO, or as you guys know, called Max. It's called Coyotl. I think I'm saying it right.
I saw it. Yeah. What is it about?
So it's all in Spanish, so I'm like excited to share with Frank. So I haven't started watching it because he's coming next weekend, so hopefully we can binge it together. That'd be really cool. But it's available, I guess, on Max, and it's focusing on a young man who transforms into a man beast. Rawr. Known as Coyotl, to protect his community in northern Mexico. Okay, you say it, Jen. I know I'm saying it wrong.
Coyotl?
Yes, thank you. Coyotl.
I mean, that's how I would say it, is Coyotl.
Yeah, I believe it's Coyotl. Yes.
Or it could be Coyotl.
Coyotl. Maybe
Yeah,
Coyotl because
Coyotl.
it's Max, so I don't know. But but he's there to protect this community in northern Mexico from the warring cartels, and essentially a modern folklore tale with elements of fantasy and suspense. Now, I saw the trailer and it looks, the effects could use a little work, but I think the overall story arc is going to be really great. So I'm very excited to actually watch it. And it's so cool. Like, of course they would be fighting the cartel, of course. So I'm like excited. But yeah, no, it looks really, really cool. It's actually action fantasy genre, and
Nice.
It's like I think the main character, they were told that it was, what is that? What are those animals that are attached to humans in Mexican folklore? I forgot what it's called.
Ooh,
Not skinwalkers.
not the ones that lead you in the afterlife, right?
No. Those are librijes.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I
But,
think it has more to do with that. You know, like
yeah.
and so like what happens is, I think the main character was on the brink of death, and so they had to summon his animal spirit.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, if you don't control it, it could get away from you. But yeah, it looks really, really cool. So that's what's on my radar.
Nahuales?
Nahuales, yes,
Yeah.
Nahual, gracias. Yes, Nahuales. So that's what's on my radar. I can't wait to watch it. I'm gonna wait for Frank to come and watch it, but I'm like really itching to start watching it.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love
That sounds cool.
Mm-hmm. I mean, nothing is ever gonna beat Los Spookies, but they were
yeah,
more
I
of a
know.
comedy, yeah. They were more of a comedy
Yeah.
satire thing.
Yes.
So this sounds like a little bit more like hard fantasy. But I have been looking for something new and interesting and cool, and that does sound new and interesting and cool. So
Absolutely.
definitely we'll check it out.
Yeah. What about you, Kristen? You have something on your radar?
I do, and this is an oldie but a goodie, but it's on my radar because we read it for our book club this month. If you don't know, the comic book store that I used to co-own had a monthly comic book club. All of the listeners are welcome to join. We meet every third Thursday of the month. However, this last month we had to meet on the fourth Thursday because I was at ComicsPRO on the third Thursday. And rereading this book just reminded me of how good it was the first time I read it. And I reread a newer version that had actually additional stories in the back. And so the book I'm talking about is Bingo Love. Bingo Love.
Oh, I love Bingo Love.
Bingo Love originally came out in 2018, so it's been some time. And it was a story, or it is a story about two women who met when they were very young. And the year was 1963. And it was two girls who just enjoyed spending time together, having fun, hanging out, and then realize that their friendship is actually more than just friends. And again, it's 1963, and these two girls are seen kissing each other, and there is just no way or how that community was going to accept them. And when I say that community, her grandmother, both their grandmothers were very into going to church and very much like a traditional family. And they just were completely like appalled that these two girls were kissing. So they forced one of the girls, Hazel was one girl, the other was Mari. They forced Mari to move away. And in fact, betrothed her to a man to be married. So that is actually the beginning of the story. We meet them when they're young. We experience them growing their friendship. We experience their love growing, and then we experience them being torn apart. Now, flash forward many, many, many years later, actually probably, I think it was like 40 to 50 years later, they reunite. And it's a whole new time. Things are a little bit more accepted, and they realize that they've never stopped loving each other. So they are literally grandmothers now, and they have reconnected. And Bingo Love shares the story of now what happens once they've reconnected and they realize that they're still in love. So I loved this book when I first read it, and I think that I forgot how good it actually was until I reread it. And then there are some they're not really loose ends in the story, but there's definitely multiple places where the story could have evolved a little bit more. And in this edition, which is a hardcover called Bingo Love Jackpot Edition, there are, I think, like 5 extra short little stories in the back that answer some questions that you might have had, but also explain a little bit more about some of the characters in the story. And it was actually really, really satisfying to read those stories and have a little bit more of the story as a whole to be told. And what I didn't know was that there was supposed to be a volume 2 that was supposed to come out in 2020. And of course, we all know what happened in 2020. February, it was supposed to come out in February, and it never did. T. Franklin, who is the writer, basically has come out since then to say that she just really didn't have a lot of support for the book. And there was just not a lot of financial ability on her part to be able to publish it, which because the first edition she published through a Kickstarter. And then Image picked it up. But so volume 2 was supposed to be called Dear Diary, or it is called Dear Diary. And the Dear Diary, actually, in some of the back matter of Bingo Love Volume 1, we find out that Mari had a entire storage unit full of her diaries. And so one of her nieces discovers it and starts going through them and reading them. And so what I think actually the Dear Diary was supposed to be is us going back and finding out more about Mari and her life, because the Bingo Love story is mostly told through Hazel's eyes and through her story and her experiences. So the hardcover is only $19.99. You can buy it online through Image Comics. I read it for freebies at Hoopla. So if your library collaborates with Hoopla, Hoopla is an app online and or on your desktop that works together with public libraries to make accessible graphic novels and comic books. So check your local library to see if they collaborate with Hoopla. I do Hoopla through Santa Monica Public Library. You don't have to be a Santa Monica resident to join the library in Santa Monica. So you can go onto Hoopla and read Bingo Love for free. And it is so worth it. I can't recommend it enough. And we read it in February for Black History Month. It's not Black History Month anymore, but the book is worth it to read any time of the year.
Yes, absolutely. Agreed. We reviewed it here on the podcast. I don't remember what episode, but it was a very, very, very good book.
I don't even remember that. It's like that never even happened in my life. I have no idea what you're talking about.
We definitely reviewed it. Yes.
I reviewed it. I'm pretty sure I might have put it in my La Libreria at some point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We love the book. Yeah.
It's been all over this podcast, but yes, we continue to share because it's a great story. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is
not the boys and girls.
No, not the boys and girls. No. So just ladies and gentlemen and adults. Yes, it's time for La Hora de la Cervecita. What are we drinking today, ladies?
This little cute kitty cat beer.
Similarities?
It's called Quietly Judging, and it has the picture of a cute little black and white kitty cat on the can, and it's definitely giving I'm quietly judging you. And it is a Los Angeles Ale Works brewed beer, and it's a juicy double IPA. And I have to say, we have not had an IPA in a very, very, very long time. But this one is a smooth, hop-driven, tropical notes of lychee, passion fruit, and sun-ripened stone fruit. So peaches, nectarines, those kinds of fruits. And it is an 8.0 ABV. That is pretty darn high. It's already late enough in the night that I'm like, I cannot drink too much of this, or I'm going to go right to bed.
I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so we've had juicy IPAs before. I've had some that I've liked.
Mm-hmm.
There's been like an IPA here that I like. But as you were describing these flavors, my mouth just started. As soon as you said lychee, I was just like. But also, like, I am cold enough right now that any amount of liquor is going to be an immediate boon. Wow.
It looks like it smells grapefruity.
Oh, double IPA smell.
Uh-oh. That doesn't bode well for Jen.
Does smell like an IPA.
Yeah,
But it doesn't smell like a double IPA. I'll give it that.
I have it on my hand, but I don't want to lick my hand.
Oh. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. We're letting. Okay. Ooh, this is like overflowing.
I was just gonna say the same thing. How did I open it and it was all inside the can, but now it's like all overflowing outside the can, like it doesn't fit in there.
Space. Yeah.
Like, that's so weird.
Serve. All right.
Mm.
Okay, we're smelling it.
I wonder
It-
where Los Angeles
Oh my
Airport
God.
is.
It's in Hawthorne.
Hawthorne. Oh, okay.
Holy shit.
It smells. I haven't tasted it yet. It smells fruity. I can smell the hops 100%. But I definitely smell like a peach or a nectarine. I don't think I've ever had a lychee, so I don't even know what that is. Are those the little white things?
Yes.
Okay. I see those at the frozen yogurt store. But I've never had them.
They were like rambutan. They were like the thing that I was eating last time at San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah.
The little hairy fruits.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and Jen told me that we were gonna stay there until all the fruit was gone because they're usually expensive, and we paid like $30 for this buffet, and they had that fruit there, and she's like, "I'm gonna eat them all."
That's hilarious.
I'm gonna make sure that I get my money's worth. And honestly, I did. I tore them the fuck up.
Oh my goodness! This is actually a very good reintroduction to IPAs, Sarah.
This is delicious.
It is very delicious. It is very flavorful. It is very crisp and light. It doesn't feel heavy on my stomach like usually IPAs do. And it has a wonderful crisp golden color. And the can art. Actually, that's why I got this. I got this at Whole Foods. And I got it. Oh, that's cute.
Oh, that is cool.
That is really cute. I like your little glass.
It's I usually drink tea out of it, but right now it's double purposed.
Yeah, I definitely got it because of the can art. It reminded me of Jen. There's a cat in the front, and it says "quietly judging." And I honestly didn't
quietly
even realize.
and lovely.
Although I would beg to differ that it's never quiet with Jen.
I don't know. I feel like I can keep my mouth shut now. A couple years ago, maybe not.
So, what do we think so far? I mean, I'm definitely loving it.
You know what? I think this is the first time I can say hops are delicious. Because I'm not gonna lie, the way that like the actual hops for this complements the fruitiness, the almost like rind-esque aftertaste as well. Like the hops 100% accentuate instead of overwhelm. This is how hops should be instead of the usual disgusting slop that they are.
Yes.
I'm not like this. This is so good. I think, like, I see the light. I see the IPA light. Like, if this is what all of them did, accentuate and emphasize and support the other flavors that they claim are in their beers, 100% I would be drinking IPAs more, because this is it's still got that like bittery like hoppy taste to it that's kind of it's like the reverse of malt. Like that's the only other way that I can really describe like hops is that it's like the opposite of malt. But it's not bad. It's 100% like whenever people are just like, oh, I can tell like taste this. For this in this one, 100%.
Yeah.
I can taste the lychee. I can taste like the other like the stone fruits. They all don't taste the same, but they kind of have like a same consistency and a same like sweetness style. 100% that I can taste it in this. Like it's so good, and the hops 100% lift up and support and are a nice backdrop so that this isn't overwhelmingly sweet or overwhelmingly just one flavor. It helps add a distinguishing factor to the flavor of this. I am in love with this beer. Not even lying.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's a little sweetness that rolls off the tongue after you've sipped it for a while. And definitely sip it because it's like 8%. So But no, I really,
Yeah.
really am enjoying it quite a bit. What is our rating scale, Kristen?
So our rating scale is a 5-point scale where 1 out of 5 is very unsatisfied. A 2 out of 5 is just a regularly unsatisfied. 3 out of 5 is satisfied. No, neutral. It's neutral. 4 out of 5 is satisfied, and 5 out of 5 is very satisfied. And if the beer is off the 5-point chart, then we give it a Super Saiyan. And I definitely agree with Jen that this beer and this brewery is very, very skilled at brewing IPAs that are flavor forward and not just overbearingly hoppy and dank. And I know that's a term that people use as kind of a descriptor for IPAs, like it's a good thing. And to be honest with you, I really just disagree with it so much, because as we have just tasted over the last couple of minutes, an IPA, and a double IPA at that, can use the hops in a very complementary fashion and have a beer that tastes good. Like when it's a double IPA, I'm just going to say it. Most people order double IPAs to get the bang for their buck because they want to get drunk. That is the bottom fucking line. And they
Limerick.
and they just suffer the taste because they know they're going to get buzzed off the first pint. And so I think that when you have a brewing company that actually cares about the brewing traditions and the flavor profile of their beer, and it's not just about selling beer to get people drunk, that I just really have to appreciate and respect that. So I will start, and I am going to, and I will preface by saying that I am an IPA, now I won't say lover, but I do like IPAs. It used to be my go-to beer. And I have kind of shied away from them in my old age because my tummy is a little bit sensitive, more so than it used to be, and it just sits heavy in my stomach. But this beer is so freaking good, and I am going to give it a Super Saiyan because I actually want to where'd you say you got it at, Sarah? Whole Foods?
Whole Foods, yes.
Whole
I want to go try and find it, and I want to share it with everybody that I know who likes beer and who drinks IPAs, because I think that they would freaking just love it. So Super Saiyan for me. How about you guys?
Well, I'm gonna go right after you, and I also think it's a Super Saiyan. It was a real surprise, actually. I didn't think it was gonna be this flavor forward, like you said, and yeah, like immediately when I smelled it, it was like, okay, it's a double IPA, right? But then I tasted it, and I was like, oh, you can sense, especially that I really am digging that sweetness in the roll of my tongue. Excuse me, as part of the aftertaste. So Super Saiyan for me. What about you, Jen?
I am an IPA hater. If any of you have noticed, like I don't like them. Like there have been a few exceptions, and I think 100% this has gone up there because it is delicious, and it's like if all IPAs were like this, I would be a convert. I would be an IPA lover, like dead ass. So this is also getting a Super Saiyan for me. I honestly
Ooh,
knocked me on my ass because it tastes that good.
Awesome.
nice. I don't think we've had a Super Saiyan across the board in quite some time.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while.
Well, good job, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a total fluke. I just got it for the can art.
The Kenneth that looks like me. No, I'm just kidding.
I love it.
And that has been our beer review. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our book review. What are we reviewing today, ladies?
I don't know where mine went now that you mention it. Oh, here it is.
So we are reviewing 2 ash cans?
Yes.
Yes, so we are reviewing 2 ash cans. One is Rosario Origins. You Can't Escape the Curse, and the other one is Black Demon Tales Mechanica. I almost said Mechanica.
Mechanica. You're welcome.
Yeah, Black Demon Tales Mechanica. Because of the accent on the A, I'm guessing it's Mechanica.
Mechanica.
Yeah, but for Kristen,
So these,
Mechanica.
yes, these are 2 books that Ignition gave away for freebies that night at their after party event, as kind of like I was saying, coming out party for CHISPA. So both of these books are just snippets of the full-size comic that is due out in August, and they are both books that are related to movies. So I know that the Black Demon movie is available. Is it on Amazon?
Yes.
Amazon Prime, yes.
I don't know. Is it Amazon? Okay.
Yeah.
And this Mechanica is the second installation, because there was a first story arc that was just Black Demon Tales. I don't think there was anything underneath. It was just Black Demon Tales.
It was just Black Demon Tales.
And it was basically the origin of the what do you call it? Like the
legend.
Legend, thank you. The legend that that like Latinx sailors would tell about this shark that would, and not even a shark, it's a megalodon. that hunts and basically goes after sailors. And so this one, actually, since we're already starting with this one, I was super intrigued about how the story evolved, and I didn't really look at the cover, and I saw the title Mechanica, but it didn't really register with me that this is actually kind of like a mech suit. A mech suit that is fighting the shark, and we learn inside that something has happened where this woman is really wanting to go after basically Black Demon and make him or her, I don't know, pay for whatever has happened in the past. And I'm guessing that it might have something to do with the first Black Demon Tales book, but I never finished it because we closed the shop before I got to read much more of the books. And then Scout went under, and it was a whole bunch of drama. So I don't even for sure know that the Black Demon Tales fully was released before the story finished. So but if you are interested in the Black Demon lore and legend, I would check out that movie, and then I would check out the first Black Demon Tales comic, and then this one as well. And I actually was very surprised at how the story was very in just a little ash can, very detailed and very intricate, and actually left me wanting to read more.
Yes.
So
Oh, so absolutely. And now I want to know, like, because this is like a mystical creature, like a legend, and it's haunted sailors for many years, hundreds and hundreds of years. I wonder what exactly, what was the thing that Dr. Bella Gonzalez, what was her experience to have this goal of,
yes,
of killing.
It reminded me of Jaws 3. Jaws 3 3D, because that's the one where they come out and they're like, the shark has a vendetta. It's after my family.
Yes.
And I when I read this, that's kind of what it sounds like that they were saying about the megalodon. So it actually was a storyline that that I thought was silly in Jaws, but now that I'm reading this, and I read something else somewhere the other day too about how I think it was about sharks, that they had some sort of like cognitive ability or something. I don't remember. And I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? Like, it could be true that Jaws has a vendetta against your family.
Yes. And you know, the cool thing is, not only is there like this obviously physical, um, this physical megalodon fighting and cursing all these sailors and people that go into the ocean, but there's a sense of mysticism because there's like some hallucinations
Yes.
that are happening there that we don't know if it's the shark itself who's presenting these hallucinations towards their prey, but
Right. Because when Bella went to fight the shark underwater in her mech shark suit, she saw something that everyone else that was monitoring what was happening from a submarine or ship nearby did not see.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping to get answers to that when the full issue comes out.
Absolutely, like
Or we
we're
can go
left
see the
wanting
movie.
more. Well, no, the movie and Dark Human Tales and this one Mechanica are all independent stories. They're
Oh,
not
okay.
from the same story, so you can see or read anything about that, and it's all its own individual story. Because again, like
Oh,
I'm saying,
okay.
this monster, this demon is a thing of history, of legend. So this
Mm.
has existed for many years and it's terrified um ships and so forth. So every one of those is a different story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in the movie it's said that there's an oil rig, and because it's upsetting nature, the megalodon comes to enforce its power and destroy
In
it.
that case, I'm in the Megalodon's
That's
favor.
what I'm saying, dude. You have to watch the movie. I know. Yes, no, it's freaking really great. So there's a lot of like folklore involved with that, so that's why I really enjoyed the movie. So, but yeah, check it out, definitely. So, what did you guys think about the story? I know this is an ash can; it's just a little snippet. But what did you guys think? What did you think, Jen?
Um, of either of them?
No, we're talking about Black Demon.
Okay,
Mechanica.
of Black Demon. Okay. Um, I'm trying to be positive here. I like the art. Um, but in general, this is a realm of science fiction. Um, and that doesn't really appeal to me. I think it's cool. I think that it's kind of fun. I also think that it's something me and my uh me and my brother came up with when we were 10. Um and that would have been like, I was like, do you know what would have been cool? This big ass shark fought this mecha shark, and she controlled it like from here, but it has like superpowers. But you know what? Those stories have a right to exist as well. Why can't we make fun things like this? Because it like takes place in Mexico, and yeah, this shark ate her entire family or whatever. And that's why
I'm
she's able to
telling
get
you,
it.
it's the story from Jaws 3D.
Pretty much. So it's overall, I think it's silly. But like on a but in the same way that I am 100% entertained by Sharknado existing, I think that this should exist. I'm not going to watch it, but you know what? Good for you that you went there and you made this. Like, and I'm not trying to be facetious. I know I sound like it, but like, have fun. Like, if you think this is the coolest thing ever, have at it.
All right. Well, let's move on to Ashcan number 2, Rosario Origin.
Now, this is what I'm talking about.
The last page, again, it's an ash can, and if those of you don't know what we mean by ash can and aren't familiar with that term, it is kind of like a sneak peek of a comic that is going to be coming out, and they can be varying lengths. Some of them could just be like character designs and like a little brief synopsis of the book. They are like little digest size sometimes, but these are full size comic size as far as like the dimensions, but it's just part of the story and generally leaves you off on a cliffhanger that you're probably going to get answers to in the full length first issue. So just like Black Demon, this Rosario is a ash can, and it's just a short part of the story, and just like Black Demon, it is connected to a movie. So
yes,
CHISPA is the comic arm of how do I want to say this? So there is a, I think, movie company called Mucho Mas.
Okay.
And they have and I actually, is Mucho Mas like just a property company? I'm not sure. Is that who actually is that Hector's company that has also done El Paso Hero?
Mucho Mas Media?
Yeah.
It says that Mucho Mas Media is an independent. Whoa, that's a really cool opening screen. Good for them. Latinx feel with global appeal. So that's what.
So media company. So I think it's the big umbrella of everything that Chispa was doing. There is a movie that is going to be coming soon to a theater near you called Rosario, and this comic is the origins of the two sisters that are going to be the story focus of that movie. And basically it is a story of two young twin sisters, Griselda and Jimenia, and they're part of a family of curanderas known as the Sisters of the Crescent Moon. They possess magical abilities and are prohibited, as we all are, from conjuring dark magic until Jimenia succumbs to the temptation, as we all do. And now Griselda must embark on a perilous journey to stop her sinister transformation. So the origin story of the terrifying feature film is this comic here. And both Rosario Origins and Black Demon Mechanica are going to be due for the first full issues in August by CHISPA, which is a publishing imprint of Ignition. So the last page of this comic was like, I'm not, was just like, oh my gosh,
it was
like,
a show.
I can't wait to read more. Like, they did not hold back. It was all that you can think when you think of a young girl that has succumbed to evil magic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, I saw that last panic and I was just all like, slay.
Oh, absolutely.
I saw it and I was just all like, damn, I wish I looked that good.
Yeah, no, I just the whole thing was like a really great it was a great pacing. You get the girls, and then if you look at the drawings and everything, they both have crescent moon necklaces, but they're opposite from each other. So they're almost, the crescents are like back to back, and it looks really cool. But also you get the sensation of they have a really great bond, and then the little banter that we have with the parents was really, really cool. And obviously they're they walk across the kitchen and they just gonna go to the room, and then the dad's like, oh, teenagers. But you don't know that there's like something a brewing in the background, and it's like, she tells her sister, she's like, we're not supposed to do that. Our family warned us not to do this. We're not supposed to go to the dark side. And then she was like, well, if you're not with me, you're against me. Just promise me you're not going to rat me out. And that kind of is the beginning of the end of this big, huge, what I'm thinking is going to be like an amazing story, because the artwork is just phenomenal. What about you guys? What did you think?
I love the artwork as well. Like everything, like you are right, for such a short like issue. I mean, and it's an ash can. Like it was really, it was really good. Like really well paced. Definitely left me in suspense. I want to know more. I want to know what happens. Um, uh, and even how it opened as well, with them trying to, use like light magic to perform what is in and of itself an act that seems very against the natural order. I was just like, no, there's only one natural progression here. So, I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and there's like, when I knew this was like really different was when they were like arguing about white and dark magic, and then she just smiles
Mm-hmm.
like this, and I was like, oh no.
That was creepy.
That was creepy as fuck. I was like, oh no.
They drew it really creepily as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good job.
Yeah, no, it's an excellent job. And then when she gathers her materials, and I'm just like, okay. But then when she topples them over and puts them on the floor, I'm like, oh hell no. She's going all balls out into the dark magic.
Going
Like,
all in.
she's all in, dude. But I love like the sense that you get that, because she comes from a family of like curanderos and brujas. There's this part where her mom starts to feel ill while making dinner, and she immediately knows, my daughter, there's something wrong with her. We got to go find Jimena. Like, take me to her. Like, she knows she's in danger. And man, did they deliver. And this is just an ash can, guys. Good Lord. I can't wait to read the freaking full comic.
Yeah,
But
and watch the movie.
This is a snippet of a scene in the movie. So you could already see that.
I didn't realize. Are those hands? I thought it was just your hair.
No, it's hands.
Okay.
Yeah, and it kind of throws back to the actual cover.
Right.
The hands.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm very excited. So anyway, we have good things to say about that. Do you guys want to add anything else before we actually rate both of the books? No. All right. Well, our rating scale is tres conchas, because that's the most Jen could eat in one sitting that her mom allowed her to, which I'm kind of jealous about, because my mom only let me eat 2. But tres conchas is the max, and if something is super amazing, then we throw a bunch of other stuff in there, like cafecito or la whole panaderia, which is the whole bakery. So, Kristen, why don't you start us off? Just rate both comics, like I guess a rating each. Sorry.
Yeah, so I just want to start off by saying that CHISPA is the Latinx imprint of Ignition, like I mentioned. So that means that the creative team is Latino. And the thing that I really appreciated from both stories is that it takes Latino culture and really embeds it heavily into the storyline. So, for example, the Black Demon Tales, that is a lore legend that I never heard of before. Obviously, I'm not a sailor, I'm not a seaman. And so I would have no reason to know those things. But the fact that I learned that is something that South American, Central American, whatever sailors, a story that they've shared and passed down for generations actually very much intrigued me. Like, it's very interesting to me to hear those kinds of folklore. And same with Rosario. curanderas and curanderos and brujas and all that kind of stuff is all part of our culture for the most part. My grandmother used to talk about going and seeing the lady who would pass the egg over her and crack it into a bowl. She had a freaking doll dressed as her nephew in the basement because her and some of her sisters did some kind of Santeria type stuff over it because he was, as a young boy, he had polio. And so they were trying to cure him. They were trying to save him. And so, and the amount of witchcraft books that she had on her bookshelf that I used to intrigue me as a young girl looking at all this stuff on the bookshelf that were my grandmother's. It was part of her culture, the stuff that she believed in, which is so ironic to me that Latinos who are for the most part Catholic delve into this kind of stuff. But that is just to say that I really appreciate that CHISPA is in existence, that they have risen from the flame like the phoenix and are still to this day sharing stories that share and embed Latino culture in such a unique way. So given that, I am going to rate Rosario. I'm going to rate them both 2 conchas because it is just an ash can. I did love the art in both of them. But I really, really, really am looking forward to seeing more of what CHISPA does. I agree with Jen that the first story is not something that would necessarily call my attention, and I definitely didn't even feel interested in reading Black Demon Tales when it first came out, but I did read it and I really liked it. And this one too, I liked, and I'm really looking forward to answering all the stories that this small little ash can presented, and answering the questions that this ash can presented to me. So I'm going to give them both 2 conchas, and I will look forward to reading the books. And don't forget, if you're interested in supporting Latino creators and you find that any of these books we're talking about are interesting to you, you have what's April, May, June, July, 5 months to get it on your pool. So there's no excuses. So
this is your heads up.
Yes. So that's 2 conchas.
Absolutely. This is Sarah, and I'm going to give them both 3 conchas because I've already been introduced to the folklore and the legend of the Black Demon, Megalodon, watching the movie and then reading some of the Black Tales. So I was already into it, and having this aspect of sci-fi included, I'm really excited for it. And then, of course, Rosario, which honestly, guys, I don't know why it's called Rosario because her name is Griselda and Jimena. So Rosario meaning the rosary, like that we pray.
I think we'll find out.
Maybe whatever they summon is called Rosario.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's my only if, but everything else is amazing. I am loving oh my God. They went all out on the art. I think the very last panel was just like really great. It had some creep show vibes, and I was just like, yes, give it to me. So, and that's right up my alley. I love all that curandera stuff, all that huevo, la limpia de huevo, cleaning you with the hojas de piru. They just slap you on the face with it. Love it. Just give it to me all. I love all of that stuff. It just yeah, of course, you gotta be a little bit careful. You don't want to be too into it, right? But I love it.
You just do it in some leather pants, and you got a double. We killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Right. I'm gonna cleanse you, but I'm also going to give you what you desire from me. Look at that.
Exactly.
Yay!
New business.
I think exactly. New business venture.
Ooh, maybe we should put that on our OnlyFans. Te limpiamos y también te damos los trancazos.
Te damos lo que mereces.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Lo que mereces.
going to make a T-shirt that just says "Lo que mereces."
I love it. Well, I'm super excited that CHISPA came back from the ashes. I was really disappointed with the whole direction it went in, and then hearing about our friends at Mashbone and Grifty, that was just
Yes.
terrible, and I was really upset, and I was like, why can't we have good stuff? So now we know, and now they're coming back strong. So I think you have 5 months to put it on your pull list, definitely. What about you, Jen?
Well, I'm gonna give Black Demon Tales, Mechanica, one concha for creativity. You know, you deserve a treat. And I'm gonna give Rosario also 2 conchas because it has potential, really good potential. And I think you guys covered everything else. Like, I mean, I don't. I mean, I kind of want to watch the movie now. Once you said that it was
Me
like
too.
like a nature revenge story, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm all about that. I'm for it. But this story, I mean, it's fun, science fiction, pretty cool. Like
Yeah,
science fiction in the way that like here's the best way I can put it. I wish it all the success of Pacific Rim, and I love Pacific Rim.
Okay, got it.
But like it's a silly movie. Like if you think about it, like I love it, but it's like a silly movie. So I wish it all the success of Pacific Rim. And Rosario Origins. I mean, who doesn't love a good horror? Exorcist style, but with brujas and curanderos and magia and stuff like that. So
El limpias de huevos.
limpias de huevos. Get that.
That right there could be the name of the business because it covers all the bases.
Let's give it a try. Seriously.
I'll be the manager.
I have a tree that's a pirud, which is what's used to do the cleansing. So we have unlimited branches.
There you go.
There you go. All right, guys, that has been our book review. We're super excited about CHISMA coming back strong and fighting. Just like that's how it is, man. You go down swinging and you come right back up. All right, guys, it's time for En la Libreria. Jen, what do you have for us today?
All right, I'll make this quick. She Makes Hungry Volume 1. Chomp, chomp. So, this the story premise for this, well, one, it's been created by 8fish, who is a webcomic artist and a medical student. They have 2 created projects.
How do they have the time?
I know, right?
Seriously.
Like, good for you. Like, I don't know how you're doing it, but you're doing it. But basically, the premise is a ghoul hunter helps a human eating ghoul she's been sparring with escape her lab. A lesbian comic about 2 unreasonable women, family, and continuing to live when you lose everything. At times ridiculous, at times heartfelt. This comic takes you through its wandering story with lively art and lovingly drawn backgrounds. This comic contains occasional violence and gore, as well as non-explicit sexual situations and innuendo. It is recommended for teens and up. And I think it's also available to read already at shemakeshungry.com. They have previews of the page that has of the comic, and the artwork is amazing. I love it. Okay, yeah. After having been published as a webcomic for the past 3 years, the completed Volume 1 is coming to print. So this is Volume 1 of a story that has been available to read as a webcomic. She Makes Hungry Volume 1 is a 200 full-color pages, and will be the first of 2 paperback volumes planned. It's 5.5 by 8.5 inches, so pretty much the standard book size. And several pages apparently have been redrawn for the book, so it is going to be different, a little different from the webcomic in that manner. Currently, the goal for this right now is $7,000. It is currently at $3,294 with 81 backers and 29 days to go. So it's just almost about halfway through to its goal. It is basically a lesbian horror / romance comic, and you know what? I'm all about that.
Oh yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, 100%. The artwork looks amazing, and they also have other works that you can add on. You can add on a signing, you can add on Puppeteer, which is a copy of a previously completed standalone graphic novel that's 170 pages in full color. And it's called Puppeteer. So you can always back without expecting a reward. You just want to show your support. But the paid base pledge starts at $7. And this is a copy of a DRM free PDF copy of She Makes Hungry Volume 1. If you want the physical copy, it is going to be $25 for the physical paperback of the book, but it will also have the PDF version as well. So you get the physical copy and the PDF version as well. And then the next tier up is a $60 tier where you get a physical copy of Volume 1 as well as custom art. So a signed copy with an original sketch in ink of anything you want in the first page. And this cannot be ordered after the campaign. That's actually pretty good. $60 for like a physical copy and then like some original art. That's really, really good. So those are the 3 tiers for it. So the webcomic is done. This is just a way to get it physically, like in hand. If you want to read it on your own, just go to shemakeshungry.com. Read it, see if you want to check it out and support it. 100% the artwork looks amazing. I really, really like it. Like, it looks really, really good. That is what captured me when I saw it, and I was just like, also the premise for it. Like,
Yeah, you saying that made me go look. So yeah, the art is super cute. It's very stylized as far as like, it's very unique.
Yeah, 100%. There's a certain way I think webcomics are drawn.
Yes.
Where they're all very like unique and different, but they have a certain like, I want like webcomic feel.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what this reminds me of? Lore Olympus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not story-wise, but just art.
Yeah,
the art reminds me of that.
Yeah, art-wise. And I think that's because simply how like formatting sometimes, like how they're styled in that format lends itself easier to read on phones, but also it's a webcomic style,
right?
So that's how a lot of them kind of, they look similar kind of in that sense. But it is 100% like a unique, and I really am in love with how this is drawn and the premise as well. So definitely check it out. It is She Makes Hungry Volume 1 on Kickstarter. And if you want to like check out the webcomic itself, it's at shemakeshungry.com, spelled exactly how it sounds. SHEMAKESHUNGRY.com.
Awesome. Now it's time for Juntos y Fuertes. Kristen, what do you have for us today?
So today we have comics for kids, and I've shared organizations similar to this in the past, but we met the not the owner, the, what do you call it? I guess he's the owner and creator. He's the person who came up with this idea of basically collecting comic books and donating them to children. And it is a nonprofit organization, and he was at ComicsPRO, so we were able to meet with him, listen to his story about how he came up with the idea and how he started his own nonprofit, and basically how he's grown it to be the biggest nonprofit organization that provides comic books to kids. So it's part of their mission to improve literacy and foster imagination through comics. And it's made possible by fundraising and generous donations by supporters. All contributions are welcome and essential to advancing their efforts. It Comics for Kids is a Seattle-based library and national nonprofit organization. So any donation that you give is tax deductible. And he said that he was just getting so many donations that they had to obviously go through to see what was all ages appropriate or for teens or whatever, and things that were too mature they would have to basically separate out from the rest of the books. And they were like, well, what are we going to do with these books? So what happened was he developed the nonprofit arm of his organization, Comics for Troops. So he takes those books and he sends them to people who are stationed either outside the country or wherever, and gives them something to do, to read, to have a little bit of home where they're at. So you can go to comicsforkidsinc.org, and that's COMICS, the number 4, and then KIDSINC.org, comicsforkids.org. And they have more information there for you to donate and how to help out with their endeavors of donating comics to both kids and to troops. And I'm going to tell you that I am in talks with the creator, developer of this organization, founder, that's the word I've been looking for, the founder of this organization, to help me to provide comics for people who are involved in the justice system. So we're in the talks of that, and we will definitely keep you all updated on how you can help support that endeavor as well.
That sounds really amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. Ooh, and you're in talks of doing your own thing with them. That's awesome. All right, guys, now it's time for saludos. And ladies and gentlemen, saludos goes out to Gustavo Vargas. That's on Instagram. It's GUSTAFFOVARGAS. And you can now, ladies and gentlemen, purchase the 3-pack saga of Altiplano, which is the book that the saga that we reviewed on episode 238. And remember how we were like searching, it was not available. I know that Jen kicked back the Kickstarter, and that's how we got a hold of it. But then there was nowhere to be found that you could purchase this book. And then we told everybody, you guys have to read this book. You guys email the creator. You guys go on his website and email him. You want to read this saga. Well, guess what? He heard our episode, and he has now made available via GustavoVargas.BigCartel.com. You can now purchase the Altiplano Saga 3-pack for €10. So you guys can now read it.
What a deal!
Isn't that
actually
awesome?
is a pretty good deal for €10. Yeah.
Yes, I'm super excited. He reached out to us thanking us for reviewing his comic, and immediately after he said, it is now available on my Big Cartel. So
Woo!
guess what? I'm thinking what you're thinking. Comadres y Comics made that happen. I think we did, guys. I think we did. So
so good.
Muchos saludos a Gustavo Vargas. Definitely follow him on Instagram, and definitely go get that 3-pack saga of Altiplano. And it's, like I said, €10 on GustavoVargas.BigCartel.com. Definitely check it out. You guys need to read this comic.
Yes, it's so amazing. The art is freaking amazing. The story is so multi-level and, again, amazing. And he actually commented on our Instagram saying that listening to our review about his book reminds him why he writes the stories that he does.
That's true. He did say that. Oh, that's the best. So guys, big saludos goes out to him, and go out there and purchase this 3-pack. You
Yeah, the
definitely
best
do.
way you can support your favorite creators or anything that you want to see is by putting your money where your mouth is. Is that the saying?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I was gonna say something else. But anyways, 100% support them. Go read it. 100%. It's a great story. It's a great arc. But like, we want to see more of this. Like,
Oh yes.
you read it. Tell your friends. Tell your mama. Tell your daddy. I don't know. Tell your kids. But it is 100% a great story.
Absolutely. Like we stand behind it 100%. So, and it's 10 euros. My goodness, that is amazing. Anyway, saludos goes out to him. And thank you so much for making this saga available to everybody, because after reviewing it, we were a little disappointed that it wasn't available. And now that it is, I just want to shout it from the rooftop. So saludos goes out to you, Gustavo Vargas. And thank you so much for also supporting us by listening and to commenting on our engaging with us. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this episode. Where can they find us, Kristen?
As always, you can find us on our website at comadrescomics.com, where you can find links to all of our socials, as well as watch some of our videos. And you can always email us at comadresycomics@gmail.com. And if you are just listening to this episode, don't forget you can see our sexy mugs on YouTube in real life, where you can watch the episode as well. Just go to the Comadres Comics channel on YouTube.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for spending this time with us. We really appreciate it, and we love it when you guys engage with us. Thank you so much. Remember, now you can comment on our episodes on Spotify. Don't forget to do that. Tell us how we're doing, or just say, hey, what's up? Maybe we could shout you out on our next episode. So go ahead and do that. We have been your host, Sarah.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Jen.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.